Time for the next one. I think it's an interesting idea to see the solutions of other people after I finish the challenges as well. I was blown away by one of the solutions from someone. Is the first one here that is just ridiculously better than mine. And I guess the explanation is the remainder of any number divided by 9 is going to be the answer, plus 1. But I just don't understand the recursive aspect of this really well. Maybe there isn't a recursive aspect. It's just dividing by 9, but there has to be a recursive. So I don't understand really well how this solution works, but apparently it does work because of all the comments. And the other thing that I saw is that some people used recursion and used other functions to solve it, which I didn't know I could use. So maybe next time, I'm gonna put the timer here. I'm probably gonna spend maximum 2 hours on the next one. And then I'm gonna do this courses off stream. Tomorrow I'll probably spend more time doing challenges, I think. This kata is part of a series on the Morse code. After you solve this kata, you may move to the next one. Decode the Morse code. And this is probably difficult. It's the same level of difficulty as the previous one. In this kata, you have to write a simple Morse code decoder. While the Morse code is now mostly superseded by voice and digital data communication channels, it still has its use in some applications around the world. The Morse code encodes every character as a sequence of dots and dashes. For example, the letter A is coded as dot and dash. Letter Q is coded as this, and digit 1 is coded as this. The Morse code is case insensitive. Traditionally, capital letters are used. When the message is written in Morse code, a single space is used to separate the character code, and 3 spaces are used to separate words. Single space is used to separate the character codes. I'm not sure what that means. The words, or probably the words. And 3 spaces are for words. Probably the characters for words is 1 space. For example, the message hey Jude in Morse code is this. So here there's 4 things, but hey has 3. Oh, the extra spaces before or after the code have no meaning and should be ignored. Extra spaces before or after the code. In addition to letters, digits, and some punctuation, there are some special service codes. The most notorious of those is the International Distress Signal (SOS) that was first issued by Titanic. That is coded as this. These special codes are treated as single special characters, and usually are transmitted as separate words. Our task is to implement a function that would take the Morse code as input and return a decoded readable string. Yeah, this is gonna be really difficult, probably. Notes: for coding purposes, you have to use AES CII characters, dot and dash, not Unicode characters. The Morse code table is preloaded for you as a dictionary. Feel free to use it. I'm not sure what this means. So dots, dashes, and spaces return human readable message. Standard string decoded. So here is initializing decoded and initializing Morse code. For auto P Morse code. Also, this is the class Decode Morse. This is a class. I don't even know what this means. Auto. I guess P is initializing the attributes of Morse code. And this is summing to this string. I don't even understand really well. Writes parallel arrays a Morse true. A table of pointers to the Morse codes and corresponding list of ASCII symbols. Other test strings would contain valid Morse code, so I may skip checking for errors and exceptions. In C#, tests will fail if the solution code throws an exception. Please keep that in mind. This is mostly because otherwise the engine would simply ignore the tests, resulting in a valid solution. After you complete this kata, you may try yourself at Decode the Morse code advanced. It's on them, so this is the beginning stuff. And there's a more advanced one. So I can also make my own tests. I don't even know where to start, to be honest. Because I don't understand what the patterns are meant to be. How each letter of each pattern works. It says that 3 spaces are for separating words, but here it has 2 words and it has several different. Well, I guess that's just the only space, actually. Probably. There's 2 E's, so it should repeat itself. But I don't see any pattern here that. And this is probably J. This is probably. Yeah, it doesn't make sense actually. I can't see the patterns that make the letters here. I don't understand what this Morse code table is. Maybe it's a class. that contains the dictionary for the letters. Auto was a keyword that C++ inherited from C that had been there nearly forever, but virtually never used. All this changed with the introduction of auto to do type deduction from the context in C++11. Each data type needs to be explicitly declared at compile time, limiting the values of an expression at runtime, but after a new version of C++, many keywords are included, which allows programmer to leave the type deduction to the compiler itself. With type inference capabilities, we can spend less time having to write out things compiler already knows. As all the types are deduced in compiler phase only, the time for compilation increases slightly, but it does not affect the runtime of the program. The auto keyword specifies that the type of the variable that is being declared will automatically be deduced from its initializer. For functions, if their return type is auto, then that will be evaluated by return type expressions at runtime. Not sure if I really understand, but from what I got, it's so you can initialize it as any type and decide what the type's gonna be on the return statement. Automatic storage duration specifier. Not placeholder type specifier. Will accept any initialized regardless of whether it is an L value or R value expression, and I will preserve its constantness. This is typically used for forwarding, usually with the end. The reason this works is because a universal reference. Auto or T will bind to anything. You might say, well, why not just use const auto? Because that will also bind to anything. Problem with using a const reference is that it's const. You won't be able to later bind it to any non-const references or invoke any member functions that are not marked const. As an example, imagine that you want to get a standard vector, take an iterator to its first element, and modify the value pointed to by that iterator in some way. Yeah, that's when things start to get really confusing. This code will compiler just fine regardless of the initialized expression. The alternative is to auto fail in the following ways. Yeah, I think I get it now. So this is probably initializing the attribute p, the variable p, which would be Morse code, which is the argument here. And then it makes the condition if p equals dot, then it gets the table, I think. This table here. But here is written differently. Maybe I should choose another challenge because I'm probably missing some knowledge that I need to solve this. Morse code encodes every character as a sequence of dots and dashes. For example, the letter A is coded as this. The Q is coded as this. And 1 is coded as this. Yeah, but what's the pattern here? How do I know what letter is which? I guess from the table. Code is case insensitive. Traditionally, the message is written in Morse code. A single space is used to separate the character codes, and 3 spaces are used to separate words. Message, hey Judy. Oh, so each block of this is a character. That's what this means. So this is H, then I or E, and then Y, and then 3 spaces, and J, U, D, and E. Now I get it. So E is 1 dot. So I can probably break down through this. So I can use this table, probably. I'm not sure. I should probably do outside of this. Or maybe I should do it inside of here. So the Morse code is gonna be this string. The only thing that I don't get, it seems that these also have spaces between them. But maybe it's just how can I say this? I'm just not perceiving it the right way, let's say. So obviously what I can do here is split the spaces, split the string through based on spaces. And then each one's gonna be a letter. Then I can use that array to compare with the base, and then I can decode this way to the table. Extra spaces before or after the code have no meaning, should be ignored. In addition, so I'm gonna search for, I think I can close these tabs here because I already finished the site that I was working on. So how to split strings and turn them into arrays. C++. Everything seems to be a little bit more difficult in C++ because you don't have the built-in methods from the other languages. And I just need to understand what the table is as well. I think I'm just gonna write down what I think I should do here. So I'm gonna split the Morse code string into words. Yeah, I have to create 2 different patterns to split the string. So make 2 conditions. So probably gonna loop through the string and see the amount of spaces. I don't know if I can loop through a string in C++. Split the Morse code string based on 1 or 3 spaces to get the letters and numbers. Now the thing is, because I'm either gonna have a nested array where each subarray is a word, and in the bigger way, yeah, each subarray is a word, and the subarray of the subarray is a letter. Or I can make multiple different arrays, or I can do a loop to solve by word first. So I get one word, then I pass it through an array, translate that into letters, and then put the letter into the final string. And then I keep summing after I do this process. I keep summing to the final string until I have the full thing. Now I just have to think about, so maybe I'll erase this, look through Morse code, find uh, translate word by word into array, and after the translated word into a string, keep adding the words with space until full string. I have an input file of data lines. The one thing that I'm also not really sure about these challenges is what exactly can I use to solve them? Is everything open for every challenge? I can use anything, like build different functions or classes, or is it problem depending? Some problems you're just limited to using some stuff, and then other ones you can use more stuff. It's not really clear. So I think I'm gonna assume from now on that I can use anything that I want and that is possible to do for each challenge. Yeah, because then that would imply that I can include other libraries. That's the thing. And I'm not sure if I can do that. Maybe it's better to try without adding libraries until I get to the more difficult challenges. Because then I force myself to do things in the most basic level as possible. Splitting a string into an array, C++. But it might be too hard then to solve the challenges if I don't use the libraries. So I think I'm gonna search how to loop through a string in C++. It's probably just a simple for loop. Simplest approach to solve this problem is to iterate a loop over the range 0 and -1, where n denotes the length of the string, using variables I and print the value of string I. Lowest implementation of the above approach. Yeah, that's not good. I guess these are functions from the main library, the standard. So I think a basic loop, I'm probably gonna do that. And the problem is, how do I get the length? And is this the best way? Because how I'm gonna count the spaces? Because I would have to count the 3 spaces, and then maybe I can create a new string. And then add the words until I get to the 3 spaces. Yeah, but that's the thing, because I would need to find a way to count 3 consecutive spaces in a row before pushing that word into an array. I'm not used to, of course, never did anything on C++, but that's also something, because I don't know what's possible to do with the arrays. Because in Python I can think about it in the lists and sublists, how it's gonna look in my mind, so I can think about the steps that I'm gonna do next, but C++ is a little bit more confusing for me. Which is good, because that's how I learn, obviously. I think looping is probably gonna be harder than should just figure out a way to split a string based on a pattern. Because if I could just do something like split in Python with the 3 spaces, then I would have the list with all the words. So maybe I can use these methods here. So S in this case is this string. The delimiter is the pattern. And the token, I just don't know if this is, yes, maybe it is a method of the string. So maybe I'm gonna copy this, put it here. Instead of this, it's obviously gonna be on 3 spaces. But I'm not sure if this is gonna give me all the words or just the first one. Because of the index is probably gonna give the first. Multiple delimiters after you have extracted one token, you can remove it to proceed with subsequent extractions. If you want to preserve the original string, just use as substring pose plus delimiter length. Substring size d pose equals 0. So I guess these are the arguments that the function receives. I don't understand this last part here, or this one. I really like his answer though, or her answer. So I have the string here, the pattern. What is size D? Standard basic string chart substring. Returns a substring post plus count. If the requested substring extends past the end of the string, i.e. the count is greater than size post minus post, the returned substring is post size. Yeah, so if it's greater, then it returns the whole string. So I guess it's just a string method. C++ size t is defined as the type which should represent the object size in bytes, which is an unsigned integer type provided by the standard library for representing the object's size and counting, and this is a type returned by the size of operator, which is also used as the return type of many different C string functions such as strings CSPN, string length, string SPN, etc. In general, size t is the unsigned type, which means it can never be negative, which is also used for reindexing and counting. This size t is an unsigned mem size type, which is defined by the standard library of C or C++ programming. So it's just used to assign an integer, an unsigned integer. So size t pose equals 0, standard string token, while pose equals as find delimiter, different than standard string and pose. I don't understand what this means as well. I guess this is the whole code that I'm gonna use probably. Just separate the thing into words. Here he's printing. It's printing here. So the token is this, and then it prints and removes the part of this string. So I can add this token to another string. Actually, I will have to think about how to translate that into an array. Or maybe I can do the whole logic inside of this loop, where once I get the token, I translate it. That's probably better. You get the token, then you access the database, the table for the code. And maybe it's better to get it by one space, so you have all the characters. Translate character by character. Maximum value for size t. And pose is a static member constant value with the greatest possible value for an element of type size t. This value, when used as a value for a length or sublength parameter in strings member functions, means until the end of the string. As a return value, it is usually used to indicate no matches. This constant is defined with a value of -1, which because size t is unsigned. So I think I got it. I also have to copy this string delimiter. So now the only question is, do I do 1 space or 3 spaces? And I have to think about the logic that I'm gonna implement after getting this token. And S in this case is gonna be Morse code. I think you can erase this stuff that I wrote. I could also put this inside of a function, outside of this function here. I think that's gonna be better probably. I can do another function and say function translate words, and then inside of the other function I receive one word as an argument and translate it there. I think that's better. And then I do 3 spaces here. But then I have to do another function outside. And I think it's okay to do it because of the previous challenge. So standard string. Oh, it's actually... I don't remember if it's true. This, whatever the name of this is, true of this or just 1. I think it's true. Translate word. It's probably true. So this is gonna receive the word here, and here I'm gonna do translate words token. So I separate them word by word, and here I translate it, and yeah, the thing is I'm gonna have to return this. So I make this equal to a variable. How can I... Maybe I should declare outside here. Well, what should be the name? Just put anything. It works. Not sure what the convention is in C++, if it's an underline or... Just gonna put W for simplicity's sake. And then I'm gonna make another empty string. Which is gonna be result. And then I'm gonna add this one plus equals W. So after I translate each word, I sum that word through the result with a space. Oh, actually, can I do this? I probably can. So the only problem is gonna be the first one because it's gonna have one space. So maybe I should do the space after. I'm gonna have to take the space out anyway, I think. So probably like this is better. But at the end I probably will have to take the last space out. So now let me think about this one. After I get the pattern, how I'm gonna, the table. I need to understand what is this table. In addition to letters, digits, and some punctuation, there are some special service codes. Most notorious of those is the international distress signal SOS. It is coded as this. These special codes are treated as single special characters and usually are transmitted as separate words. So this, I'm not sure if it's gonna mess up the loop that I have there. Your test is to implement a function that will take. So where's the table stuff? Hey, internet bird. How are you? I'm good. Did you change your name or? I think I've seen your name before. I'm not sure where I saw the table stuff. Oh, the Morse code table is preloaded for you as a dictionary. Feel free to use it. I don't understand this part here. Oh, so I guess this Morse code table C++. Probably should look this up. And I'm gonna leave this open in case it doesn't work, so I can look at it later. Oh, this name all the time. I don't want to look at the solution, of course, but I'm concerned about clicking one of these links and getting the solution. So I assume I need to use like this, but I don't understand how it works. Maybe it's a class. Oh, it's like this, probably. So whatever pattern I pass here, it translates the pattern, I think. And that's probably how it works. So now I think I can pass the word here. And just return this. Maybe I don't even need the function then. I can just do this equals token, and then W is gonna be the translated word. Then I pass each word to this with the space, and I return this. I just don't understand this part here. I think this is the declaration of the thing. Or is declaring P as Morse code. For P Morse code. P equals this. Yeah, I don't get it. It's just translating the dot and the thing to this decoded variable. So I'm not sure if I should use this decoded instead of the results. Maybe what I should have done is write the stuff inside of this auto P stuff. And erase the stuff they did here. But I think at least I'm probably on the right track. I think I'm gonna put result here and see what happens when I run this. No, so I got an empty string. Well, at least I'm getting this space. So let me see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Probably not gonna change anything. I'm gonna put one space and see what happens. I don't think I'm gonna need this function here, so I'm gonna erase it. So the token is probably not working. Either the token or the conversion. And the thing is, I'm not sure if pose is 0 here, because it didn't change anything. Maybe I'm missing something that he did here. Yeah, he's making this condition, but I'm not sure if this assigns this value to pose or not. Probably it does, because otherwise this one wouldn't make sense. It would be just 0, 0. Oh, there we go. So now I'm getting something. So the letters, I'm not getting the last letter. It's probably because of this different than. Maybe I should do greater than and see what happens. And the other problem is obviously the spaces there. And now I'm getting an empty. Huh. Oh, it's because it's not gonna be bigger. Yeah, maybe this one. Okay, so this works as well, but I still don't get the final letter. So what if I erase this delimiter length here? Yeah, one thing I need to study is the standard methods, because these are probably obviously gonna be very important for anything. The list, array methods, string methods. I think those are the most, and vector probably is also used a lot. It's probably the most important things to know. So I have in mind what I can do when I encounter these problems with each thing. So this is not working, probably because it's looping forever. I can also try to do this. Change there and then change here. Once I'm able to get the whole thing, including the last letter, then I can think about how to remove the empty spaces. So it also doesn't work. Oh, I'm adding them here. So maybe if I just do this, yeah, that's probably the problem there. But I'm still not getting the last one. Yeah, I need to add 3 spaces only. I need to add 1 space only if there's 3 spaces. So maybe I put a condition where I say if pose so this is gonna find the 1 space. Or maybe I can make result equals result plus Morse code. Plus equals Morse code. Because I assume the last letter is gonna be in the remaining string. Oh, I forgot this. Oh, now it's a dot. Oh yeah, it's because it's not translated. So I can do this. So probably this is gonna work, actually. So now I just have to figure out how to put 3 spaces between words. In 1 space between every word. I can make another delimiter with 3 spaces. And then I can use that delimiter to make a condition. Yeah, that's probably the best. Or at least the easiest way I can think of. So space, delimiter. 1, 2, 3. So I probably should do it here. Yeah, but that's the thing. Now I just have to think about... Yeah, maybe I'll encapsulate everything. The issue in my mind is that I don't know what the interval is gonna be here with this while loop. Because pose equals Morse code dot find delimiter. Just, I'm not sure, but I imagine it's gonna go space by space, probably. It's gonna work. And then different than standard string and POs, which is the maximum amount of the string. So it's looping through the string space by space. So I have to think about a way to say do this every three spaces instead of 1. Maybe I can make word equals... Yeah, I can break down by words first. But then I'm not sure if it's gonna screw up this loop here. Because if I break down by words, then before this loop, then I would have to create different arrays and then translate the words and then put them in a string. Let me think about it. I think we're really close. It's just a matter of figuring how I'm gonna say this. Maybe if I just do the... let me make it equal to a letter. Morse code dot find. Maybe this is gonna find the words regardless. My concern is that it finds more because it loops all the time. It puts more words than necessary. Oh, actually, I need to initialize this as well. Maybe I should put this outside of the loop. Oh, maybe inside actually. Yeah, but then I can't think about a way to use this to make the if condition, if statement. Because the spaces are gonna be one by one. I think it's simpler to... The biggest point is that I don't know what the token... how frequently the loop is gonna be. Because what I'm thinking about now is making the condition true if token equals empty string. Yeah, it's not gonna go here anyway. Yeah, I think token is just a symbol. Just these patterns here. And is looping through these patterns. But I don't think it's counting the empty spaces. Maybe it's actually better, yeah, but then how would I... If I try to separate after I do the parsing, how would I know when the word finishes and the other one begins? I think I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I guess the reason why this doesn't work if I put 3 spaces here is that the token, this Morse code, just decodes one word, one character, it doesn't decode the word. So if I could separate, the issue is I have to separate the letters anyway. We can put this in another while loop. We can make the same thing, but for the other delimiter. Yeah, but then how would I do that? Let me just write, then I'll think about it later. I'm thinking about doing exactly the same loop here. And then putting this inside of this one. Then here it will be the same thing. It's really confusing. But it would be D here, and then here space delimiter. Space token D. So then I can put if space token, then I'm not sure if this is gonna work, but or maybe I can just do the first loop. And then here we'll put if. Let's see what happens if I run this. Oh, I forgot to initialize this. so I can't really do this. Because I'm initializing as a string and testing as a boolean. But the thing is, this would catch the entire word, I think. From the beginning until the end of until the 3 spaces. Or maybe I can do the first loop. I would just erase this stuff. I can just do this one with this delimiter, and then I can loop through the delimiter as well, itself. So 1, 2, 3, then for ints I equals 0, no, I'm not sure if I can do length, dot length, you got the length of the string, but I'm gonna try it, and then if I can't, I will research. Then I'll do W equals Morse code token I. And here I can do plus empty. Now maybe it works. Oh, so the length is wrong. Once you get the length of a string in C++. Maybe size. It's probably just dot size, yeah. No viable overloaded operator by type string map. I remember seeing some solutions in Stack Overflow to other problems that you can get the index of the string like this. The letter of each thing. but I think now the length is fine, at least. Yeah, as far as I can see, it's not complaining. Oh, here. So maybe it's not fine. Comparison of integers of different signs, int and standard cxx, basic string. So I don't understand why it's not working there. Maybe I should initialize first. Yeah, the color here is different, so I'm not sure if this... Oh, but here is the same. So let me test to see if I'm still getting the warning there. Okay, so now, yeah, that was probably the problem. So now I just need to see how can I get the index of a string. Maybe I should do char, the same thing that I did with the size, and initialize first. But then, yeah, maybe. Now the other issue that I just thought about is that this is gonna have spaces as well. So each character is not... Yeah, but I don't think it matters. Or maybe it does matter. I should make another substring with the delimiter, space delimiter, to get each thing. This is getting confusing. So I should do token space equals this. Oh, actually, let's find and here should be, so I don't think I need this D space. And now token space should be each letter, I think. Or maybe I can use this directly here. Well, now the issue is that I'm gonna be converting each word, but I'm not storing them. So maybe I should create another variable here. And make plus equals. And then I'm gonna store each letter on the R variable. And then I need to erase here as well. Oh, actually, that's a problem. Because I'm just gonna remove one letter if I do this. Yeah, this is getting I'm getting tired because it's getting really confusing to think about all the variables inside of the other methods. Because here, pose is equal to this, which is the size of the string with the delimiter of 3 spaces, which is a word. So I should probably do the same thing for token space, actually. So that it is equal to each word. So make D equals to instead of the limiter, it's space. Actually, I'm gonna separate this. And now here output substring. Zero and D. Now token space is each word, I think. And then I can do the same thing here. Oh, this actually needs to go inside of the loop, I think. Yeah, that's the difference. So I'm gonna end up using the 2 loops there. The idea that I had in the beginning. Yeah, all I have to do is do the same while loop actually. Inside of here for each word. And then I store each word in the R. And in the outer loop I make R plus equals empty space. And maybe this other erase method is redundant because I'm gonna be erasing the string anyway here. This should be D. And let me run this and see what happens. So I didn't get the space and I got... So the space was at the end here, which is interesting. So this loop inside gave me all of this and gave me 3 E's. Maybe I should just do the while loop. Erase this stuff and do the while loop. And I didn't need to create this R variable here. Maybe that's what I did wrong here. Yeah, the R variable is unnecessary. I forgot what I was doing in the beginning there. Maybe we can look here. I think I'm gonna undo everything and start from the beginning there. Just do a while loop instead of the for loop. I'm gonna do the same logic for both of them, but the way that I was talking about with 2 delimiters. Hopefully it goes back that far. I think this was the one that was working. Almost working. Yeah. So, 2 and 3. This gives me empty. So in this case, token would be a full word. So I can do another delimiter, space, 1. I'm gonna do the while loop here. Just exactly the same. And then this should be different as well. Oh. If I do char, it doesn't work. I also have to initialize here. I don't know if I could use char instead of string. Don't know if that would mess up the adding the char to the string. Maybe after I solve the thing, I'm gonna try to change it and see what happens. Yeah, but this is not gonna change anything. That's the problem. Unless I start this loop at the end of this one. That's my main point of confusion here, is that I don't understand really well how this loop is working. I think this one starts at the end of the first word, at the beginning of the three spaces, but I'm not sure. Because if that's the case, then this should work, probably. But I'm not sure if this is gonna loop through the whole string instead of the substring. Oh, maybe I should do token here instead of space. And then I do this substring inside of the loop. See. Oh, I also have to erase this thing. Let me just comment, because I don't remember why I did this. Also, maybe I need to put inside of the parentheses. It still doesn't work. Because it's different functions here. Here's substring and here's spine. So maybe I should just do it the other way and see what happens. So it's not working. It's probably because of the stuff I was talking about, where it's hard to understand how this loop is being done. And probably because I'm adding space here. Yeah, but this shouldn't interfere with the loop. Maybe I should go back to the previous one. It's probably a better and easier way to do what I'm trying to do. So it wasn't this. So it's probably because... Okay. Let me do something. I'm gonna do a variable called count and a variable called the string size. It's gonna be what size? Actually, and then here I'm gonna make count plus equals 1 on each iteration. I forgot this. So I can't return this to print there. Maybe if I just do this. Yeah, but then it's gonna complain that there is no return. The issue is if I put it outside, it's not gonna show, I think. That's the problem. But maybe it does. Okay, so 8 and 28. Yeah, so it is going just space by space. and not character by character. So this is looped 8 times and the string size is 28. What if I did a for loop instead of this one? We should abstract this to a function so I don't get confused. I think this should be the easiest way. Yeah, I don't know why I put this here. And it seems to be working even with this statement here. Oh, it's because of the last letter. Because the last letter is gonna be on the initial string. I forgot about that. So that's the problem if I'm gonna abstract away this. But maybe it doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, it actually matters. Oh, maybe it doesn't, because if I pass the word, then the initial word is gonna be this string and not this. So I think I'm gonna do that. Just so it's easier to think about it. And then here I have to think as well. So now I just have to replace Morse code with Word. Oh, actually, the other way. Here. Yeah, so now I think it gets easier to think about. Because all I have to do is create another loop and then activate this function to parse actually this character, not word. Yeah, so now I can do the same thing here. It's just a lot easier to think about if I have the stuff on the other function. Maybe I can even use the same names, but I think I'm gonna change just the delimiter, and maybe this one as well. Yeah, so now I think I can remove this one from here because I'm gonna be getting from the function. Also need to put this here. So this is gonna loop through each word, and then I have to pass the word here. So word is gonna be equal to this. Parse characters, word. Much easier to think about. So then if I pass the word here, it's gonna convert here. And it's gonna return me the parsed thing. It's gonna be a string with the words. So result's gonna be equal to this plus empty string maybe. And then do I leave this? Probably I do leave this here. Yeah, let's see what happens. Oh, so it's not the limiter, it's space. And this should be initialized outside. Yeah. Oh, actually, it's here. So maybe this function has to come before the other one? Then the time is over. This is definitely not the best solution if it works. So it's not working. Here's this delimiter here. Okay. Probably not. Oh, I forgot to add the W here. That's the issue. Maybe it has to be the other way. Yeah, but now I'm getting the issue that the last one is not getting there. Probably because of this condition, has to be, but I don't know how to change it. So I guess the last word. And this probably runs forever. What if I do this? The thing is, I'm so close that I don't want to stop, but that's been more than 2 hours already. Yeah. It's just figuring out how to change this condition here so that I get the last word. And I can't do what I did here because it's not a character. It's a full word. I'm not sure why it doesn't catch the last one. I guess it's because in the last one the delimiter is the 3 spaces. So this substring becomes just the 3 spaces. Well, maybe not. What if yeah, I think I tried this before as well. Doesn't work. If I erase this, it's probably not gonna work. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to look at the solution. There's no... Because otherwise I'm just gonna spend... I might spend a lot of time just trying to figure out how to get this dashboard. Maybe, I wonder if I can do this. Just see what I'm getting before I parse the thing. I'm getting the signs here. Maybe if I do this here. So this is the size of the length of the pattern. Yeah, this is the size of the word, I guess. And then it's removing from the original one. Plus the pattern here. So maybe if I do this and this. Yeah, I guess in the second iteration the size becomes equal to the maximum size of the string. So what if I do, instead of this, I use the Morse code size? I have to initialize here. Ints. Oh. So here has to be size D. Now I get empty string. Yeah, probably because now the word is not what I think it is anymore. It doesn't even print. So this is not, oh no, of course. So it has to be smaller or equal. Let's test now. I'm still getting the same thing. It's because I'm using the delimiter. Thanks for following biting bits. So the issue here is that I'm using the delimiter to loop. That's because these words substring. But it doesn't make sense if I'm erasing here from the beginning string. Oh, maybe it's because the last word doesn't have 3 empty spaces after. So it's not finding it. That's the problem. And this goes from 0 until the delimiter. Yeah, I think I have to think a lot more to solve this. Because then it might be a lot more complicated than what I'm thinking, because I might have to change all of this to find a way to get the last element that is not based on this pattern here. That's the problem. And I'm not sure how long this is gonna take, so I think I'm gonna stop here. I'm not even gonna look this off stream. I'm gonna probably come back tomorrow and then finish this, because it might take me some time, and because I'm gonna pass more than 2 hours on this one, because I think I'm very close to getting it right. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So see ya.